What's up, y'all? Night's Edge here again, doing another little quick, I guess you call it an overview review of the Beowulf. I did an unboxing video of it, but whenever I did the unboxing video, I did not check my microphone to see if it was connected prior to doing the video, and I had to delete it because it had no sound. So essentially, with the unboxing, you just see me doing like that, right? So anyway, before I get into it, this is the channel you're watching at @the_Knights_Edge. Like the video if you like it, and subscribe to the channel if you want more content. It's free to subscribe to a YouTube channel, in case anybody didn't know. Also, all my other information is down below. Instagram, TikTok, and my email, contact information, all that stuff's down below. I appreciate anybody that's watched the channel, anybody that's been watching, and anybody that likes, subscribe. That's awesome. Really helps out along. Helps me out big time. So appreciate it. I'll put that up. All right. So today, this is kind of like it's a review of a knife, but this is a this is a comically overbuilt knife. This is the Midgards Messer. Get their box out here. Midgards Messer, name of the company. Midgards Messer Beowulf. Name of the knife is the Beowulf. And this is just like a hulking beast of a knife. Super thick, super overbuilt. And I'm going to get into it and show you guys what all is overbuilt about it. Let you guys watch the spec size comparisons after you check that out. You're definitely gonna realize how crazy this thing is. But Midgards Messer, they have other knives that I'd absolutely love to try, because I love this one, even though it's very inconvenient to carry it. But they do the Viking, they've got the Valhalla, they got a bunch of other overbuilt knives, including a little Beowulf. It's like the smaller version of this one. But yeah, without further ado, flick it open, get a close look at it there. That's the maker's mark there on the handle. Diamond textured titanium. It's CPM D2, which is a step above regular D2. So Crucible does the D2 on this blade. So that means the D2 actually came from the United States and was powder metallurgy formed through Crucible. So that's a good thing. The knife itself was made by Concept Knives in China. Midgards Messer does all their folding, or all their fixed blades in-house. Their folders they do through Concept Knives, which is a really good OEM to do them through, out of China. Chinese made knife, but the owning company is Midgards Messer. So before I forget the order of things again here, let's do a tape measure on it. So overall length on the Beowulf, you're looking right at, I'd say right at 8 1/4 inches. If you're including the glass breaker from the tip of the blade all the way to the end, you're looking right at 8 5/8, 8 1/2, 8 5/8 on the overall length. On the blade length, with that really deep swoop belly that it's got going on right there, kind of hard to tell. Overall blade length, if you want to go from the tip of the blade all the way to the handle back here, you're looking at a little over 4 inches, from here to back here. But if you're looking to the handle here, you're looking right at 3 5/8. Cutting edge on it, 3 1/2, going that way. But if you measure it this way, including the belly, actual real estate on the cutting edge, you're looking right at 3 3/4, which is pretty big. As far as width goes, or broadness of the blade, get a measurement on that, because it's right at 2 inches on the how broad the blade itself is. Now I'll get the calibers out. I'll show you exactly the most impressive thing about this as far as how overbuilt it is. But looking at the blade stock thickness on this thing, thickest part of the spine, I got 231 thousandths right there, which is insane. $234 thousandths there. Now flip it over behind the edge on the other side of it, looking at the blade stock thickness at 29 thousandths. That's pretty good for such a large knife, for such a thick blade stock. All the way at the tip. Well, let me make sure I'm getting it right. 24 thousandths, but that's on the edge itself, 35 thousandths. So that's not too terribly bad at the edge, but blade stock thickness is just crazy. That's double that's double a very overbuilt knife, right? So 3/4 of an inch right at it on the handle thickness. That's crazy. Which in hand, whenever you're gripping this thing, it feels pretty stout. You know, like in hand, you definitely know that you got a good grip on something. It's like holding a miniature broke off sword. You know, really, it is definitely an impressive thing. Whenever people, if you come to own this knife, or if you got this knife, whenever you give it to people that come over, or you know, let a buddy try it out or whatever, it's going to put a smile on their face. They're going to start laughing because this thing's insane. You know, you give it to somebody to open a bag of chips, and they're gonna crap themselves. But go ahead and do size comparisons here. Show you how big this is compared to some more normal size knives. This is a full size knife, Spyderco Paramilitary 2, about the same in length. The Beowulf being a little bit longer if you include the glass breaker, but I mean the broadness is, you know, that's crazy. Now a lot of people would consider this like their perfect carry, you know, good everyday carry knife right there. That's the Spyderco Para 3. Beowulf is just like comically larger than the Spyderco Para 3. Get out the Doug Ritter Hogue RSK MK1. About the same as far as length. Beowulf's actually got it beat a good little bit, but as far as broadness goes, the Ritter Hogue could probably fit inside the Beowulf twice almost, and it's just comically larger than the Hogue Deca. It's a pretty popular budget knife nowadays. It's a VV Vision FG, way larger than that. And here are this is two of the other knives in my collection. These are probably two of the largest knives in my collection. This is the Cold Steel 8010, which is way overbuilt, large knife. The Beowulf still, you know, much larger than the 8010, about the same as far as length goes, but way thicker, way more broad. Microtech stitch, ram lock. Beowulf, you know, about the same length again, but the Beowulf still, even with the aggressively broad blade that the Stitch has got, still bigger than the Stitch, weighs way more than the Stitch, which is too heavy for a lot of people, but that's a matter of personal preference, I guess. All right, so go ahead and get the scale out here. I don't even have to move the knife to get the scale out because it's so large. .5 ounces. Yep, 12.5 ounces. 12.4, 12.5 ounces. That's crazy. By comparison, you know, a normal lighter folding knife with a 3-inch blade, 2.5 ounces. You know, Spyderco Paramilitary 2 with titanium scales that make it much heavier, 4.9 ounces. Full size knife here, Doug Ritter Hogue RSK MK1 G10 scales, 4.5 ounces. So Definitely, the Beowulf is a heavy knife. If you put it in your pocket, you're gonna feel it the whole time it's there. You're not gonna forget it's there. It's not like a lot of knives where there's gonna be a point in time where you're like, oh man, did I remember to bring my knife today? No, it's gonna remind you it's there. You're gonna know this thing's in your pocket the whole time. Which if you carry it, and from what I've found every day, day number one was just like, man, this is incredibly obvious. It's number one, it's obvious you got a knife in your pocket. Your pants or your pocket on that side's gonna be sagging down, and this thing's gonna be kind of clunking around in there. But after the day number two, it's gonna seem still heavy. After the third, fourth day, it's gonna seem almost normal. You do adapt to it, um, which is a good thing, right? The human body adapts, and you'll adapt to kind of carrying it. But it is without a doubt a heavy object. Pocket clip, not bad. Pulling it in and out, once it's in there, it's definitely in there, but definitely have a lot sticking out of your pocket, right? So that's what you're looking at all the way up whenever you're carrying it with the pocket clip. Definitely a lot sticking out. It's not deep carry by any means. Then plus another thing is ergonomically, this kind of sucks. This glass breaker, it's very pointy, so when you're reaching in to grab it, it kind of will poke your finger and your thumb and your palm and stuff if you're not careful with it. But all right, so we did size comparisons, the weight, carry, ergonomically. This thing really surprised me. It's really comfortable ergonomically. I don't know if it's the blade shape or what, or the handle shape. I mean, but once you grip it like this, and I've got large size hand, wear a large size glove, average size hands, I guess. When you're gripping this thing, it's surprisingly comfortable. And I've handed it to other people that were impressed with once they got it in hand and locked in like that. You were locked in, and it feels pretty good actually. I mean, it's definitely a heavy object, but it's very contoured. The edges are contoured. They got good jimping. Top of the handle, top of the blade right there, bottom right here. When you're grabbing it, you can choke up on that flat right there. But fairly comfortable ergonomics. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it is a huge, crazy overbuilt object, but ergonomically, this thing is really comfortable. Another thing with the lockup, it's a frame lock, right? So without the extra hardware, and I'll show you that in just a second. The action on it, by the way, is awesome. Good action. The fact that the blade is so dang heavy contributes to that, right? But I can actually put my middle finger in the fuller and with a little wrist, reverse flick that, no problem. And you can slow roll it out. You can kind of grip it with your middle finger and your thumb, drop it, slow roll it out like that. But as far as one-handed open, I can middle finger flick it with a little bit of wrist most of the time. If I'm not under the camera, most of the time with no problem, which is surprising. Very solid thwack when you open it, and look, listen, whenever you close it, I don't know if you heard that or not, but you can definitely tell that is a really solid hunk of metal closing, so you got to be careful closing this thing. As far as lockout goes, frame lock right there is your first line of defense. Good frame lock. It also has a stop pin, over travel stop, and this little deal here is, I'm gonna get the hardware checker out here. That's a T6, I think. And actually forgot to do the hardware check. This is a T6 bit, but yeah, put that's a T6 right there in that little stop. So if I loosen this up and turn it left or right, you can control whether the frame lock disengages or not. Right now, I've got it set to where it's a non-factor. I've got it set to where I can open and close it using the frame lock, and then I tighten down on that. But if I want to do it the other way, I'll loosen up on this screw right here, spin the disc, tighten it up, and that'll keep it open, with the frame lock. So that is one line of protection right there. Another one is the fact that you got this pin, this big, you know, pretty good sized pin right there. Whenever it opens up, it's locked up against that pin, which is also, you know, an over travel stop. Another thing that they provide with the knife is, let me get it out. I keep it in this pouch here. Another thing that comes with the knife, as far as lockup goes, is this. This is a little screw you can put on a keychain, you know, lanyard, whatever. But this little hole here, you take it, screw it into there. It's a flathead. You can screw it in tighter if you want. And this thing is, even if I do disengage this frame lock like that, it's fully disengaged right now, it's still not turning, right? Because this pin's in here. So with the frame lock, with this also, and with that, it makes it, to me, just as durable as like a cold steel triad lock. Super solid lockup. You know, I mean, you can do whatever you want with this thing. There's a lot of other stuff that's going to break on the knife before the lock will. I wouldn't recommend it, you know, if you're going to use it to baton or to chop wood with or whatever. There's a lot of other tools that I would recommend that are also a lot cheaper and a lot more effective than the Midgards Messer Beowulf, but that is just an option. As far as fit finish on this thing, I already talked about the steel CPM D2. In my opinion, it's a little better than D2 budget steel, but it could have been a little, they could have made the steel a little more premium, put something like M390 L Mag, something like that on there, but you know, I don't really have a complaint about it because I'm not going to be carrying this thing every day because it's massively heavy. But unless I have to, I'm not getting rid of this thing because I like it. I mean, it's a conversation piece. It is a definite unique item in my lineup, in my collection. I really like it a lot. This is titanium, by the way, on the handle, anodized blue. This is the second run of these things, I believe. First run was just a plain colored titanium. And let's see, let me go ahead and do the hardware check too before I forget to do that. T8 all the way around, I believe. Yeah, I've never taken it apart, but yeah, it's T8, and T10, I think. Let's see, this is a T10, right? Yeah, T10 Torx bit, T10 on the pivot. Yeah, so that's a good thing. Definitely not that hard of an object to take apart. It's just really large. One thing I did notice, and I didn't see it on the website, I haven't seen it in any other videos or anything by anyone else, but if you look in here, that is a T6. I put an extended, wherever it's at, you can actually get to it. This is a long T8, but I'm just showing you that you can get to it with this. If you take that screw out, I'm thinking that maybe you could drop this glass breaker because I can't see any other reason for this screw to be there. So as I flip it over, watch. It's the only thing I'm seeing that screw could be connected to, right, would be that glass breaker. So, and then plus looking at the glass breaker itself, you see going around it, it looks like it is detachable. So I might actually do that one day, take this thing apart, see if I can get that glass breaker off of there, because it is one point that is aggravating about this thing. You know, I mean, it is super duper heavy. At 12 ounces is just like a ridiculous thing to carry around in your pocket. But that glass breaker being off of there would definitely help. When you reach in your pocket to grab it, that thing's, you know, it's wanting to poke you every which way, and it is pretty sharp. It's not like knife sharp, but it's just pointing, you know. So that's about all I can think about to say about this bad boy. I mean, it is to me, I'll never unless I have to sell it, you know, unless I need the money or whatever, I'll never take this out of my collection. This is a great knife. It's a definite conversation starter. Really good ergonomically, you know. Probably not going to really carry this thing very much. But, yeah, that is the Midgards Messer Beowulf. So I appreciate you guys watching the video. Hit a like if you like the content. If you have anything to add, you know, I mean, I miss stuff all the time. I appreciate any comments, any additional information, corrections, whatever. You know, I try to get every detail I can in these little knife breakdowns, reviews, and stuff, which is why they're so long, a lot longer than a lot of people care to watch a YouTube video. But I do miss stuff, you know, a lot of times, and I appreciate any info I can get on it. So appreciate you guys watching, man. Especially people who made it to the end, means a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Hit the like button down there. And till then, I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks.